Welcome to the show. Against my better judgment, hit the like, smash subscribe. Let's go. Let's go. To the show.
Bitch. welcome everybody. How are you all this fine lovely Friday evening? I apologize, I was not live on Monday. I just needed a mental reset. I really did. You know, this stuff gets so depressing. It's like everybody's so miserable and bitching all the time online. X is like the new Reddit. It's just like, ugh, you know? So I needed to rest. I needed to rest to get my snark levels back up. You feel me? You feel me? So they're back up on full blast. And let me tell you guys, all these people on X are literally losing their shit. Candace Owens made a couple of different announcements on her show this week. Showed some more footage that I was just floored by, right? We saw a little bit of Terrell Farnsworth doing some questionable looking stuff. I mean, let's be real. It was kind of questionable looking, okay? Looking around and shit. It's weird. It's weird. And she showed us some of that and whatever. But she did reveal a source. And I thought it was pretty funny because these people keep saying, oh, you never want to share your source. Oh, no, you never want to share your sources. Blah, 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 blah. And so she gave him a little taste, right? She shared a little source. And I thought it was pretty funny. So now we know that one of her sources early on was Mikey McCoy. But another huge source of Candace's was Andrew Kolvet. Andrew Kolvet was giving her all kind of information, right? Andrew Kolvet was yammering in her ear, giving her all these ideas. And now they're just crashing out over on X. Blake Neff is making a big stink of everything. And I don't know why. Why is that bald-headed little alleged version bastard, okay, saying anything to anybody at all over on X? And guess what? Now there's a new person over on X called Black Neff. His name's Black Neff, and it's a black bald guy, and he's just going hard over on Blake Neff, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I don't know where he's been, but I just found him, and he's cracking me up. But yeah, I got a couple of different things to show you guys and just, snark about tonight. So welcome in G Cuban and Jeannie is here. Hello, Yvette and Erica. Oh, what is up, everybody? And Vossi is here. Hello, Vossi. Vossi's been a member for a month. All right. She said, I'm wasting a freebie because I can. Welcome in Elmer and Dreaming Nash. Hello, guys. Pam is here. Hi, Pam. And Bayou Girl says, hello, everyone. Happy Friday to all in the Snark Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Sandy is here and Holly. Hello. Green Eyed Nana. Welcome in, guys. I hope you all had a fantastic week. Painful Truth is here. Oops, didn't do that one. Kimberly, hello. I always have a problem selecting things with my mouse. It's crazy. DL is here. What's up? And KK is here. Tyler Rumsden clothing outfits were never admitted into evidence. No gunshot residue admitted into evidence. Yeah, like literally, I mean, barely anything. I don't even know how they could call that a trial. And I don't know how there's people out here that are like, okay with this. I'm in shock. It's like, I always try to say, like, imagine that's you or somebody that you care about in that position. I mean, what would you think? And we have to think that way because it could be you or somebody you know that's up there next. You don't know. We were just letting it go like it's totally normal. What's up, Jean? All right, what's up? Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Painful Truth. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Bossy. I can't always make the lives due to the time zone difference, but I love your show. Everyone else over academicizes it. I'm not gonna lie, my head is fried lately. Yes, it is. I do. Look, I take all this stuff very seriously, and it's super depressing. I mean, it really is. It's sad, it's depressing, and it pisses me. I get pissed. But I have to, I try to make light of it and just make fun of these people and just kind of, we have to try to get a laugh out of something because honestly, we would be so depressed. I mean, I'd be like curled in a ball crying, and I have anxiety. Like I have all kind of stuff. I don't want to be depressed by news, but it's like, it's terrifying to think that this stuff's actually going on right now. And we're literally watching it all unfold. And there's people that believe this craziness and the whole thing, So yes, you sometimes just need a little bit of like a breather. And that's definitely what I had to do. But listen, this is going to come to a shock to maybe none of you. Okay. Turns out that they are doing a memorial over at UVU for Charlie, just like Baron Coleman predicted. Andrew Kolvet just announced this, I guess at 3 p.m. He says they assassinated Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. 1 year later, we're going back to that campus with Freedom Belt to last. September 10th, 6:30 p.m., Mountain Time, UCCU Center, Orem, a husband, a father, a free speech defender who founded TPUSA at 19 and put it on 6,200 campuses. Glenn Beck, Frank Turk, Andrew Seifer, Caleb Chilcott, live on X. They thought Charlie's movement would cease when that mic fell. Soon they won't be able to forget how wrong they were. Like, okay, Andrew, actually we all did. Charlie's movement actually did cease, right? I mean, at least in my opinion, it totally ceased. Because you know why? They do nothing. They do nothing that resembles anything Charlie wanted, in my opinion. Right? They keep telling us this is what Charlie would want, and yet we go back and look, and yeah, Charlie never said any of that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous, right? But Baron Coleman did predict that they were going to go ahead and try to do some type of memorial thing over there, and I thought that he said that UVU said they weren't going to do it or something. So I'm confused at how they're doing it. Yeah, they're going back to the campus with Freedom Belt to last. UCCU Center. I don't know where the UCCU Center is. Maybe it's different location. I really don't know. I'm confused because I thought UVU was shutting down for this. Like they didn't want this. Anybody know what the hell's up with that? Yeah. Look, and Mason Lemmy's always got his foot on their neck. He says you knew it was gonna happen. Yeah, Erica and Andrew have not mentioned any of Charlie's statements about Jeffrey E. October 7th stand down, Gaza, the donors, funding open borders, war with Iran, his text saying they're gonna kill me, TPUSA Doge style audits, or leaving the pro-Israel cause. Yeah, since his passing, Charlie's done a complete 180. He's flipped his stance on every key issue, including his favorite congressman, Thomas Massey. Why is that, TPUSA and Erica? And it was exactly my point seconds ago, right? When they said, oh, they're gonna realize his movement didn't stop. You know, well, actually it kind of did. So even everybody sees this, you know. Somebody calling him, see you next Tuesdays. You should be the very last people speaking about what happened to Charlie. Yeah. Yeah, Frank Turk's gonna speak when he, oh, this is a good point. They said you cunts should be the very last people speaking about what happened to Charlie. To have Israel First Crew speaking on his behalf is deplorable. To have Frank Turk speak when he has suggested that someone run a sword through one of his dearest friends for trying to find answers to his murder. The fact that he is lying and twisting scripture to do so is a level of deprivation not seen in many pastors. Frank is a disgrace to any legit man of God, and the rest of you have fought hard to go against almost everything Charlie founded TPUSA on. You took his values and morals and threw them in the trash. Every one of you betrayed Charlie. And that was from Sherry McDonald. Yeah, I think, I don't know, who agrees with that statement? Anybody disagree with this statement? Put a 1 if you agree, put a 2 if you disagree. Yeah, I can't believe it's been almost a year, Jane. I honestly can't. Yeah, I think that is disgusting that they're having, I agree that they're having a anniversary there. It's I kind of figured they would, right? They want it seems allegedly as though they want any type of recognition or you know, like, I don't know, they just want all eyes on them, right? And they're just so shitty. I took a screenshot the other day of Blake Neff's his it was live on X with the whole thing, right? Their Charlie Kirk show. They were on the Charlie Kirk show a couple days ago. And it's live, I think, on YouTube, and then it's on Andrew's X and Blake's X account. And Blake's X account had the live stream running, and he had like 190 people watching. That was it. So it's like, why are you still on there? Why do you guys continue to broadcast from the Charlie Kirk show when literally, like, nobody cares about these guys? And the longer they're on there, the smaller and smaller and smaller their audience gets. It's crazy. Oh, no, I didn't. The Jimmy Dore show today scared me silly. Oh, no, I'm going to have to check it out. Yeah, it's just, and then Baron, I was just literally watching a couple minutes of Baron's show before I went live here, and Baron was showing his movements on that timeline, Tyler Robinson's movements, and he had like a mapped timeline on Google Maps, and he, you know, had everything. I mean, brilliant timeline to look at because it actually shows you his movements and stuff, and it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right when you look at these movements. Crazy. Actually, let me look up Jimmy Dore. We can look it up and watch it because I missed it, and if it's good, I want to see it. I really like Jimmy Dore. Let's see. Yeah, I am definitely not, I'm not, let's see. Is MAGA a cult? Is that the one? Is that the one it was? Is MAGA a cult? Yeah, Tyler Robin was doing his steps that day. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Oh, he had what's her name on there today. Is that the one you guys are talking about? His live stream from today saying is MAGA a cult. I think that's what you guys mean. I'm just trying to figure out which part to look at here. He had is that Marjorie Taylor Greene on there for a while? Okay, let's see. This is what I'm looking at here. No, let's see. Oh, about drones. Oh, it's his latest video, not live. Okay, let's look at that. Oh shit, they got a couple. He put a couple out here.
Less than 30 days after Charlie Kirk was killed, the president announces peace in the Middle East for the first time in 3,000 years and heads off to Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, almost as if the agreement was, you take care of my problem and I'll get you the Gaza peace deal. And everybody will be talking about the Nobel Peace Prize, and we'll put Jared in charge of New Gaza. And all the investments will run through Jared. Now, we can't do New Gaza. We can't build a Ritz-Carlton and a Four Seasons, right? So Bill Gates isn't going to build a Four Seasons in New Gaza if Hamas is running around.
Hold on, you're saying it's for drone. It's about drones, but I don't see a drone one, guys. Hang on. I only seen this one was his latest one. Maybe it's this one, the one huge mistake they made in the Middle East with Joe Kent. Is that the one you guys mean? Okay, the Joe Kent one. All right, that's probably what it is, because Joe Kent.
Most people don't know this. Post 9, or actually even pre 9/11, is Somalia, and all we hear about now is, oh, there's all this Somali daycare fraud. What are all these?
I can't find it, guys. You guys are going. This is the one he does mention the drones. This one here. Military drone with John Collin. Isn't that the one with John Collin? Let's see.
So that's what the gun could look like.
If what they found in the science building was a spent brass casing, that's the shot.
That's the shot. John Cullen is with us. He's a content creator who describes himself as the most dangerous investigative journalist in the world. And I would have to concur. With a professional background in relational database design. Wow, whatever. I'm too dumb to understand what that is. And geographic information systems.
Dude, Casey, guess what? I actually have that saved in my X things to show you guys about how some dude caught that drone flying over top Candace and Candace and Barron's area. I found that in there. I have that to show you guys. And my thumbnail was going to be that drone flying over Candace and Barron. But I changed it because of Candace's talking about Andrew Kolvet so much. And I wanted to show you guys she actually did reveal a source because they keep bitching about her sources. And I thought it was hilarious when she reveals a source and it's fucking Andrew Kolvet. Bitch, you know what I mean? So I changed it. But this is creepy as hell. This is super creepy.
Transition to full-time research following the 2017 Las Vegas shooting, which was nothing like you think it was.
Yeah, that's
Cullen
true.
is best known for publishing alternative analysis of high-profile events, including the Las Vegas shooting, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the 2024 assassination attempt of Donald Trump. And now he's coming on to let us know what I think is the most compelling theory of how Charlie Kirk was killed. Let's hear it for John Cullen. Hey, John.
How are you, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I've been wanting to have you on for quite some time. I'm glad we can finally hook up. And I look forward to having you on again if you don't get mad at me. But
you kidding? I love you guys. I love the whole crew.
That's very sweet of you.
Stephanie and Kurt, come on. I totally love you guys.
So the reason why I have you on today is because none of the stuff that the establishment, that the FBI and now the prosecutors of Tyler Robinson are saying makes sense at all. None of it makes sense. And no matter where you take a look at the case, whether it's the Losi building, whether it's the crime site, whether it's the paving over of the crime scene, whether it's the ride to the hospital, whether it's none of it makes sense. The fake confessions, the rifle that wasn't used, the dog sniffing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And they keep trying to tell us that this makes sense. They keep saying, well, this little part may be a little off, but when you put it all together, it makes perfect sense. And it points directly to Tyler Robinson. And yet, no, it fucking doesn't. No, it doesn't. None of it does. Even if you take it piece by piece, like Jimmy's saying, even taking it piece by piece, none of it points to Tyler Robinson actually, pulling the trigger. None. Zero. And they keep trying to push it down our throat that it does. And it's just totally ridiculous. And everybody that keeps trying to tell us that, they keep getting less and less views because more and more people are going, this ain't right.
no matter where you point your attention, none of it makes sense. Not only are there anomalies, as some people like to say, but it doesn't make sense. And so Tyler Robinson's an obvious patsy. And one of the big things, John, and I think this is what your analysis gets to, and I'm going to play a little bit of it, is that the angle, if you were going to shoot Charlie Kirk from the Losi building, there's a problem with that angle, right? The angle at which Charlie Kirk was shot, the bullet had hit a part of his vertebra, and if it hit that part that it did hit, it would have to have gone through his jaw. So the angle from the Losi building makes no sense.
Right.
And now you do unbelievable forensic analysis of the crime scene, and you had a problem with what they call the crack and the thump, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so the crack is when the trigger is pulled, right? And then and then the thump is when it hits something?
No. So the crack is when a supersonic bullet flies past the observer, and the observer being sort of perpendicular. So in other words, when a bullet flies past you, you hear the supersonic, it's the sonic boom, basically, that the bullet is making as it passes you. That's the crack. The thump is the bang that the gun makes when when you pull the trigger, it goes bang, right? That's the loud sound. That sound of the gun is the thump, and that travels downrange at the speed of sound. But the bullet travels downrange at Mach 2.5.
So faster than the speed of sound.
Right. So the bullet's going to arrive and make that crack sound.
Okay.
And then a moment later, you're going to hear the boom, which we call the thump.
Oh, okay.
And at 375 yards, it's 1 second.
Wow.
Okay. So the speed of sound is 1,145 feet per second, 125, based on temperature. It's based on temperature, by the way, not altitude. And so it's about 375 yards is 1 second. So if you hear a crack and then you hear a thump 1 Mississippi later, the shooter was 375 yards out.
Okay, so here, let me just play a clip from your video that you did about this, and you were having a hard time reconciling the crack with the thump. And
That's
here,
right.
let me play it.
And calculating the delay from when we hear the supersonic crack to when we hear the thump of the report of the weapon being fired, which is the boom.
Yeah. Let me see where he talks about the drones. Oh, look, they are talking about Baron Coleman too. Wonder what happened here. Let's see.
Is sort of the nation's premier ISR training base, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. It's high-tech spy stuff. And this 6500, this Axel 10 plane, this N-1098L, these planes are being outfitted with some of the most sensitive military spy equipment ever known. The stuff you can't even imagine. It's able to intercept communications. It's able to deploy drones. It's able to do all kinds of crazy stuff. This is a fancy piece of equipment. On the day
Now, he's saying this was around the Charlie Kirk
Big Bang.
Here we go.
We know that this flight took place because we looked at it. If you've been watching a while, this is a little bit of recap. We knew this flight took place. It went from El Paso to Kalispell, and on its way up there, it did this little loop-de-loop. It was flying to Kalispell from El Paso on this little teal-looking line down here. It comes and takes a hard left. It goes over the southern part of Utah Lake. It flips back around, and it flies really low, really, really low. 114 knots it's flying. I mean, that's almost stall speed. If it went any slower, it would lose lift and fall out of the sky. And it's flying at like 100 or 200 feet off the deck. I know over here it says 5,100 feet, but you got to subtract the altitude. You got to subtract the altitude of Provo, which is like 5,000 feet in the air. And it's coming in, and it makes what looks like an approach over Provo. Well, the interesting part of this is Utah Valley University campus right up here. So, I mean, it's just right there. It flies super low and slow right next to where the Charlie Kirk event's going to take place.
Wow.
And keep in mind what this plane can do. This is a very, very fancy plane.
This is
very
crazy.
Sensitive spy equipment. It can detect, I'll show you an article in a minute on what it can do. It can detect movement. It can intercept communications. It can, de-encrypt stuff that you think is encrypted that is being transmitted over the air. It's a very, very fancy piece of equipment. So that took place before the event. It took place about 9:16 a.m. About the time we're told Tyler Robinson showed up on campus.
Wow.
Weirdly enough. Now, after the event, the plane is flying back from Kalispell to El Paso. And it leaves Kalispell and it starts coming down and it flies down. And here it is, again, just adjacent to Utah Valley University, which is right over here. Just adjacent to Utah Valley University. It's at 12:48 p.m. So just 25 minutes or so after the Big Bang. Tyler's on it. Charlie's on his way to the hospital. Exfil teams, if there was more than one person, they would be getting out of the area. It would be really nice to be able to have a plane with incredible technology on board that can bring in tremendous amounts of data using server racks that are actually on the plane in real time, process all that data and see what's going on the ground. That's what these.
That is crazy, because then there actually is a post that somebody caught one of these things right next. Somebody just caught the Hades spy plane flying over Candace during her show. This is the AXEL-21, a sibling to Axel 10. I was listening to Candace, noticed a luxury jet flying abnormally low, pulled up flight radar, and it just happened to be a Hades aircraft. Not making any claims, but stay frosty, Candace and Baron. And here is a video of the freaking thing flying. Like, bitch, what? What the actual hell is going on? I mean, they're really flying over where Candace and Baron live? Like, what? This is nuts. And then they wonder why we're going, yeah, the official narrative doesn't make sense. And then we see shit like this. And I mean, I don't know about you guys. Doesn't this just kind of make you wonder even more what's going on here? Yeah, let's see if it goes on to say, let's see. Casey said this guy's going to explain how come these two are in some trouble.
Planes are used for in real life. And again,
it's on this one,
flying
right,
at 123 knots, just over stall speed at 4,900 feet. I mean, right on the deck. And then it does its little loop around, and then it leaves the area and goes back to El Paso.
So we lost John again. So John's having some connection
Come back on, it looks like.
problems. He's got the Starlink, which doesn't have.
40,000 feet, descends to 200, slows to 115 knots again, and then reascends to 40,000 feet.
Oh, he's explaining where it was.
That's not very efficient from a jet fuel perspective.
Correct.
Right. So, were these guys going to jack in the box? I mean, what are you doing that you're descending from 40,000 to 200 feet and 115 knots twice in the same day, adjacent to where Charlie Kirk was killed? And then the next day, its sister ship. There's two of these Haiti planes in the world. One of them is N1098L. That's the one that was there the day that Charlie was killed twice. The next day is the day that Tyler Robinson turns himself in, right? At the Utah Sheriff's Office or whatever in St. George. Its sister ship is at St. George when Tyler Robinson is turning himself in. So it's there the day of. The next day when Tyler Robinson turns himself in, it's in St. George, his sister ship. And then yesterday, they caught the sister ship flying over Nashville.
And that would be Candace Owens' house.
And Baron Coleman.
And so let me just that's a great explanation. Let me just show you Baron Coleman. He's gonna kind of break it down. What John just said. He's gonna say it a little different. Let's listen. He's got some graphics that he can show. Watch.
Yep.
The interesting thing about that is Fort Huachuca is sort of the nation's premier ISR training base.
Okay, it looks like he pops in here another second.
It's high-tech spy stuff. And this 6500, this Axel 10 plane, this N1098L. These planes are being outfitted with some of the most sensitive military spy equipment ever known. The stuff you can't even imagine. It's able to intercept communications.
Let me see. Maybe he explains the dangers and stuff
so
here.
Shortly after Charlie was killed, somebody does a podcast showing this flight track. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Now, keep in mind, most of the work that I did early on in the Vegas shooting, which is kind of where I, cut my teeth, right? That's where I got my bombs, right? Was on the Vegas shooting. And most of the work I was doing there was based on flight radar 24. And I was tracking helicopters and things like that. So when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, to tell you the honest truth, Jimmy, I didn't even think to look at flight radar.
Right?
It's like, why would, who the hell would do that? Well, some guy did. And the guy who did was a pilot, it turns out. But when I went to flight radar, it turns out his report was wrong. He got the altitude wrong. He was saying it was at 600 feet. It was at 200 feet. And I'm like, all right, obviously attention to detail is not this guy's strong suit. So let me get into this. Let me figure out what the hell's going on. And it turns out the Pentagon has this G6500. It's like a Gulfstream, but it's made by Bombardier, whatever the hell it is.
That's it, right?
That's it. So it starts out as a business jet, and then they turn it into basically a spy plane. And the label on the side says U.S. Army. We're told it's Pentagon, but it does very CIA-ish type of things. It does all this spooky type of spy stuff. And then they announced in January of last year that they're going to be doing a thing where they launch drones from this.
Yes.
All right. And so the
Oh,
Hades
shit.
aircraft doesn't just have all the spooky stuff, but they have the
Wow.
ability to launch drones. All right. You're like,
Yeah.
okay. So the issue then is, all right, so this plane didn't just fly by UVU the day that Charlie Kirk was killed. It descended from 40,000 feet to 200 feet and slowed down to 115 knots.
which almost it would almost lose lift.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so slow it would.
So he it slows way down there, and then they see it over, Baron and Candace's. And now he's popping back on, and we're gonna see if he talks about it again.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Because he
So
got knocked out of the stream.
so now
I
we've
think.
established that plane that has the drone capable swoop down from their 14,000 cruising speed altitude.
40.
I'm sorry, 40,000. That's right, 40.
Stratosphere stuff. Yeah.
That's higher than commercial jets fly, and down to 200 feet, and almost to the point where it's going to lose lift. It's going so slow. Then it takes off, and the air traffic controller is talking to him. Hey, what's going on? I think I have this. Let me see if I have this. We'll be right back with more of this story after
Oh,
a brief
shit.
message from our sponsor.
Really? If
You
Jimmy
wanna know
has
something?
that, that's crazy.
You want to know something wild?
With an M4 rifle
This is it.
firing a 5.56.
I
So
think
the bird of prey is available with an M4 rifle
this is it.
firing a 5.56 round. And they suggest this for a range of 300 meters.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck.
And then this is the Barrett Rec 10 in 7.62 308 for up to 600 meters.
600 meters. They say this
Elbit
drone.
sells this. Elbit This is sells a flying Rec 10 in 7.62 and says it has 600 meter range.
600 meter range. Now, if you remember, John, correct
This
me
is
if I'm wrong. So
crazy.
you put the drone that you think took the shot, you put it over the science building, and did they not find a shell casing on the science building?
Well, what they found at the science
He
building
did.
is kind of debatable because they didn't take it into evidence. They
Right.
didn't document it.
Right.
So, and the police are allowed to lie.
Yes.
FBI is allowed to lie. This guy was on the case, but now he's not. The guy whose testimony we were hearing with the British accent.
Oh, they took him off the case?
Yeah, he doesn't work there anymore.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he doesn't work there anymore.
What?
So
He's not, yeah.
so he did testify that they found a bullet or a bullet casing on the science building roof, right?
And then he tells you what he recalls to his best recollection. And what he's telling you is that an officer put his rifle into battery, which means on an AR-15, you pull the T charging handle and a round is now in the chamber, ready to be fired. And then cleared his rifle, which requires you to remove the magazine.
And then, and one thing about them clearing the rifle, if he needed to put, if he needed to arm that thing, he's not going to clear it again until he gets ready to get into his vehicle, because that's when they're supposed to clear it out, right? So by him saying that he cleared it up on the roof, that doesn't make much sense either, because they're not, if he had to put one in the chamber, okay, but then why would you then go and clear it on the roof? You would be clearing it before you hop back in your car, and that's like the protocol, right? So it's kind of strange that any of that would be the case, but it's very interesting that there was a casing found on that roof, and I never even thought, but yeah, it could have been by a drone.
Do it again, another round is going to go in. So he then removed the magazine, operated the charging handle to eject the live round, left the live round on the roof of the science building,
Yeah.
and went to Arby's. I mean, it's like, who did that? Who is the cop who did it? When you found the bullet on the ground, did you say, hey, Mikey, is that yours? Or
And also, they have to, it's not like they are allowed to just lose a round, okay? They're not allowed to lose a round. They can't just go back in and, just be like, oh shit, yeah, one did go missing. I really don't know where that went. They can't be doing that shit. You know what I mean? So it's very strange. It's very strange to me that they're even trying to say that that was what happened. I mean, could you imagine if they could just lose their bullets? Like, oh yeah, that one, I can't remember where that fell out somewhere. I don't know where that shit went. Like, get on out of here. So crazy. And then but we're supposed to believe this, guys. This, like, we're supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Sure, yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that so many times. Like, they just lose bullets all the time. I was like, it's perfectly normal. perfectly normal. You're crazy for even thinking otherwise.
Or was it an hour later, 2 hours later? Why was it not tent guarded? Now,
Yeah.
I've seen
There you go.
forged evidence before at the Vegas shooting. I've seen what the police department is willing to do to create a case, right? They broke the windows in Vegas. You and I are, we have to do a show in Vegas.
Yes, definitely we will.
Yeah,
this
really now has me questioning the whole Vegas thing, right? This really's got me wondering about the Vegas thing too, because I mean, I never even paid attention to the Vegas thing until I saw Ian Carroll talking about that on Tucker Carlson's show. And I watched the whole thing and I was just like in shock and thinking, this is wild, right? That whole Vegas thing was wild. And the fact now that he's bringing all this up, this makes me think about, makes me think about that. Jen says, hi, Jen, you look great. Did you dye your hair? No, girl, I did my eyebrows. Because they're so light. They're like practically clear. So I get them darkened so you can actually see them. That's the only thing different. But thank you very much.
I've seen them forge evidence. And so for this guy to simply say it was an unfired round versus a spent brass casing, if what they found in the science building was a spent brass casing, that's the shot.
That's the shot.
That's the shot.
That's the shot. And it came from that Elbit drone that has a range of 600 yards with accuracy.
I believe. Now,
Yes.
the reason so why am I saying it's Elbit and not the Switchback? So the Switchback is another flying drone. But we didn't spend $6 billion with the Switchback.
There you go.
We spent $6 billion with Elbit.
Wow.
And Elbit has this entire ecosystem of drones that talk to each other. You played the clip, and the guy says one operator has 4 autonomous drones. He's not doing joysticks. This isn't DJI joystick shit.
Right.
This is facial recognition, target acquisition, infrared laser targeting, wind speed and direction determination by the drone flying over the tent. The drone that flies over the tent knows what direction and speed the wind is blowing.
Yes. So those other 3 drones are transmitting information back to the drone that has the rifle. And so they know what the wind speed is, the temperature of everything. They know everything.
So this is the difference between the Israeli drone technology and what they've been feeding the American public with for the last 3-4 years, which is Ukrainian mini drones with hand grenades taped to them.
Right.
That's not what the Israelis make.
That's correct.
The Israelis are making super sophisticated, autonomous flying rifles.
Yes.
And we spent $6 billion with them.
And so if you
Jesus
subscribe to
Christ.
your hypothesis, everything makes sense. The angle of the bullet makes sense. The reason why you didn't hear a thump makes sense. The reason why there's a spent shell casing on top of the science building makes sense. The crack makes sense. Everything makes sense if you subscribe to this hypothesis. And there's no other hypothesis I've heard of that makes this kind of sense for this thing. Now, do you think, John, that they could have done 2 things at once? Do you think they could have shot him and then also electrocuted him through that mic or done something else? Because why would his T-shirt fly like that?
So the T-shirt flying is a combination of things that, again, Chris Martinson did a great job explaining this. So he shot a gel torso a couple dozen times and filmed it with a hyper slow motion camera, like a show me something that does many, many frames per second.
Yeah, that makes
And
me
what
wonder
he's able
about
to
the
show
shirt.
with that compared to what we see with people filming with their iPhones and Samsungs or whatever, we're only getting 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second from people who are using their phones. When he films it with the super, slow motion stuff, you see how the shirt responds instantly, even though the point of impact doesn't appear to even respond. In other words, the bullet hits your neck. Well, blood doesn't come gushing out that second. In a quarter of a second, the blood doesn't just come out instantly. It takes maybe 3/4 of a second for the blood to start to work its way out. The hydrostatic shock is the thing that makes everything go bonkers underneath. And there's a cone of air around the bullet.
Right.
And that cone of air around the bullet's a high pressure zone. And that pushes the fabric as it enters the body. That whole cone of air is in that vicinity. So I'm not surprised by what I saw with the shirt at all. I mean, when I saw it, it was perfectly obvious to me that it was shot in the neck and that this is the entry wound. It hit the carotid artery. The blood pressure is what's forcing the blood to come out because his heart's right here.
Right.
And it's the carotid artery, man.
Yeah.
It's going to spray.
Correct.
So, I mean, when I saw it happen, I'm like, it wouldn't have mattered if there was a trauma team with an operating room 10 feet from there.
Yeah, he was dead.
Correct. It wouldn't have mattered.
In
And
fact,
his whole cervical vertebrae was destroyed.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't just break his neck. It actually obliterated a big, like 3-inch part of his spine is gone.
And
Right.
some people got hung up on the fact that two of the little bits of the bullet went down. One went into his heart, one went into his lung, and it left destruction in going down into the thorax area. But again, with a frangible tip bullet, I have them here. I use them. So these are basically hollow points. This is a 300 blackout hollow point, and it's frangible, meaning they'd use like a laser or a water jet to cut these grooves in the tip. And when it hits, it petals. And the lady from the ATF in the prelim trial thing was talking about how she has to peel the petals back in order to do her measurements and stuff.
Wow.
So the pedaling is what tells us it was a bullet like this. It was a frangible hollow point tip that is made to spread out, and the little bits and pieces go flying all over. One up into the brain, one down to the heart, one into the lungs. That's what it's designed to do. And if the shot is taken from 350 or 400 yards, that explains why there's no exit wound. Everybody's like, well, if it's a 30-06 from 142, it's going to blow his neck off.
Right.
Correct. Yes. It wasn't. It wasn't a 30-06.
Did you love how Andrew Wilson tried to explain the ballistics in that debate? He's like, yeah, it could just fly apart from the air. He just was making shit up. Thank you so much, Jessica. She said Idaho 4 is fucking nuts. That's another negative evidence case. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. The Idaho 4, I gotta look at that one. Another negative evidence case. Another one is that whole Nolan Wells case. There's a whole bunch of negative evidence there as well. I find it crazy that, and I'm following the Nolan Wells thing. There's so much to that one. It's so much because there's so many people involved. Well, now they're suing people, like they're doing all kind of shit. So I don't even know if I want to talk about the Nolan Wells case, because they're going after a lot of people for that, just for even talking about it. It's insane. Casey says, let's just say this man is right, and heaven forbid they are now after Candace and Barron. What do you do when 2 countries want you dead? Yeah, a father of 8 and a mother of 5, and look what happens to she's probably gonna finish it. Yeah, this is pretty terrifying. It did the same thing to Kohlberger. Yeah. She said she's moving, so hopefully they'll move somewhere undisclosed or something. Yeah, they said George scans for bugs all the time. She said George scans for bugs all the time. He does that all the time. Crazy. I mean, to have to live like that just because you're doing a podcast is crazy. It's crazy. And now to know that these things are flying around their houses and stuff, unreal. She should take on her vacation. She should head on out and just never come back. Podcast from somewhere else, like Russia. Like she was in Russia and loved it. She should just go over there and podcast. Fuck this. That's wild to me.
It's a 7.62.
This is terrifying.
And so even that ballistic expert who testified, I don't know if you caught that, she said, and Baron Coleman broke this down, she measured the fragments of the bullets, and the fragments of the bullets were not the same size of a 30-06 fragment.
Yep, exactly.
And so it implied,
it's not a 30-06.
yeah,
I mean,
implied it wasn't.
No
It implied it was a different sized bullet and not a 30-06. Her evidence showed it was most likely not a 30-06. And so, what kind of bullet does that drone with that gun on that drone use? Do you know?
Well, so let me clarify what she said.
Okay.
The measurements of the bullet, we've got pictures of the bullet and pictures of the little fragments. What they said was that it's in the 30 caliber family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the 30 caliber family is a big family.
Big.
It's 308,
Yes.
7.62, 300 blackout. Those are all 30 cal, right? And so when I go out and buy a suppressor, one of the suppressor configurations is a 30 cal suppressor. And a 30 cal suppressor is for 308, 7.62, using on a 6.5 Creedmoor as well. It's a little bit smaller. So these are all considered 30 caliber rounds, 7.62 millimeter and .308 caliber, which is 0.308 inches. It's the same diameter. So what they're
Wow.
by telling everybody it's a 30-06, it's a red herring that everybody goes bonkers about for a year. Can't be a 30-06. I'm going to go buy 14 pork roasts and I'm going to shoot the pork roast to prove it's not 30-06. And for a year, we got people going bonkers about the 30-06. It has nothing to do with 30-06. This is a military operation with a Hades jet, UAVs, and the round he was shot with is designed to not exit.
Wow.
It's a pedaling, fragmenting round shot from 350 yards, not 140 yards. And so that explains why it didn't exit the body. So
Okay.
like you said, it comes together. It keeps coming together.
Yeah, it really does.
So I think to me that is the most logical and compelling hypothesis of how they killed Charlie Kirk. It lines up with everything, and it just is to me that I can't think of another. There is another more compelling theory out there or hypothesis out there, and that lines up with that. And when I found that bullet and he dismissed it as some guy clearing his thing, that made and they didn't enter it into evidence, right? So that's the big red flag right there.
Yeah.
Of course, you would enter it into evidence. They didn't.
Yeah, that's totally ridiculous. That's one of many things that they should have entered into evidence, and they just totally ignored. They totally ignored. Yes, the SD card from the camera behind Charlie has everything they did behind that table video and audio. I wonder if Candace already has it. You know what? I wouldn't doubt if she does. I wouldn't doubt if she did get a hold of that. Although I don't know. It seems she has a few. It seems like there's quite a few police officers who are involved in investigating this case that are sources of hers, because she's been getting all kind of, she said she's had a lot of this stuff for a while. And so when she says things, you have to remember that she might even have evidence of these things, like the ones that talk about Terrell Farnsworth. I mean, look at the stuff she revealed about that. And she's had that for a while. And those were people that were her sources from early on. And imagine now how many people are involved in this case that are going, something isn't right here, and giving her information. Yeah. Yeah. Beyond politics, this is full control, though. Demonic power, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's more than just believable. Yeah. And somebody else over on X, he keeps trying to get a hold of Candace to kind of give her his theory about this. And he's got something where he has isolated the frames from, I guess, beside Charlie, or somebody had a video, or behind Charlie, wherever he got these videos, but he isolates the frames and he moves the visuals into different lenses, I guess you could say. And in the one, you can actually see something like he said it's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sonic something or other that hits Charlie in the head seconds before then he gets hit. So I think he was trying to say that he got hit in the head, but you can't see it or something. I don't know. It's really wild, but I mean, who knows if this some type of drone shit, this is stuff what you hear about the government having, they have way more than that. They're not going to tell you what they have. The stuff you hear about them having is shit that was done years ago. Can you imagine what they have if this is the stuff we know about? And the fact that I think they never really expected the public to be no, let's look at the, flight logs. Let's look at the planes. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we're not going to Mars. That's the one, Jeannie. Yeah, that's the one with that theory. But yeah, imagine they never really expected us to have people digging into flight logs and, what these planes are doing, their altitudes and things like that. They just kind of think we're all stupid. And so this is why they don't want people looking at this, right? They want us just to move on because everybody keeps digging into things. And when you do a FOIA request, they have to give you that information. Eventually, they have to give that to you. And so eventually, there's going to be a lot of things that come out because all these FOIA requests everybody has in, they're delaying them as much as they can. But that doesn't mean that eventually we're not going to find out. you know? And I don't think this is ever going to go away until it's actually solved. It could be 50 years from now, but they're going to solve it. They're going to solve it. And it just might not be, you know, in our lifetime. I don't know. But it's kind of terrifying when you find out that this thing's like flying over top of where you are. This is terrifying. This is crazy. Like, they don't think that people are going to.
My gosh.
Yep.
There is no shot. This is Axel 21. Hold on. This is Axel 21. It's not Axel 10. That is actually insane. Oh, I wish I had a DSLR. Fuck.
What the fuck are they doing?
No way.
Like, what the fuck are they doing this for? What could they possibly need to do over Tennessee? Over Nashville? What in the actual fuck? That's my question. Insane. Abnormally low too. Yeah, people don't expect people. They don't expect people to look at the flight radar. You know, who does that? Who looks at that? Definitely shocking. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh gosh. And then this was a good one I wanted to show you guys too, because I just got a kick out of it. It's Erica Kirk just being a doofus, because she's always a doofus. I mean, I don't know. And then, well, I'm going to show you this part first. Lionel says, this woman is TPUSA's ostensible leader and is presumed to know rudiments of scripture and catechism. I think that's what that says. Evil as autophagus. I don't know how the fuck. Evil as autophagus, I guess. I have no idea what this woman is talking about, nor does anyone else. How long will this fraud continue? And then we've got Erica Kirk saying this.
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on whatever. Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse. He will, and he'll just, they'll just eat it themselves.
Did the Lord just confuse you, girl? Did the Lord just confuse you, girl? She just tripped up real bad there. It just eats itself. It just eats itself. It's just like eating itself. Like, you know.
It's like, it's a thing. You can watch it.
It's a thing. It's a thing, guys. Like, it'll just eat itself. Like, it's a thing. You know what I mean? It's a thing. Shut the hell up. Evil eats itself. Okay, girl. I did find a post by Lisa Knows about this too. It was hilarious. Here she is. She says that imagine mocking a widow because you don't read scripture. So you think she's wrong, but she's 100% correct in what she said. The Christians have no problem understanding Erica Kirk when she speaks. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. Let's see what you have to say. Let's see what Lisa has to say.
Evil confused.
I am really trying to leave this woman alone, but she just refuses to keep her mouth closed. Look at what she has said now.
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse. He will, and he'll just, they'll just eat it themselves. It's like, it's a thing. You can watch it. You can watch it in real time. But
You're right. The Lord is probably confused, just like the rest of us watching you and your actions.
The candy cult has been losing their minds over this clip of Erica all day, and once again continue to show that they don't read the Bible, they don't understand scripture, and they don't understand God. The comments under her video are atrocious, along with the posts that I've seen on X about this topic, saying that we do not serve a God of confusion. God will never cause confusion. She's not talking about the Christian God. She's not a Christian. God will not cause confusion for believers, those who have the Holy Spirit.
This is and I'm gonna stop it like right here because yeah, exactly, Green Eyed Nana. I'm gonna stop it right here because anything she literally says, I really don't care to hear. And I love how she sits up here and talks about Christians and how to be a good person for the Lord and how she knows better than Christians who are calling Erica Kirk out. I mean, I have nothing to even say from that other than, you know, shut the fuck up because I don't care. How about that? And oh my gosh. So also Artifacts, who is somebody who was working for Turning Point USA. He worked for them for a long time. He met Charlie, I think he said when he was 15 or something. He has been doing a countdown, right? Because he's got some audio that he's getting ready to put out, and he put it out. I'm going to share it with you guys in a minute. He said the audio is coming out one way or another. TPUSA, it's your decision whether or not you want to get in front of it. You have 48 hours remaining, and he keeps telling them like, this is what I'm going to put out, right? And so he actually puts out that audio today, and let's see. Let me put you back over here a second while I get it, because it's pretty interesting what the audio actually reveals. Here it is. Wait. No. This is his video. He made a music video for it and everything. Wait a second. Where did I put it now? Let me just look it up. Okay. So then he shares the leaked audio clip from my source who knew Erica Kirk way before TPUSA and attests to her trying to recruit them for a Love Island style show, telling them all these people hook up and get together and get married for the show, but you could always just divorce them. So it's basically like another person. His source is somebody who I believe also worked for Turning Point USA and decided to jump ship after everything happened, you know, after Charlie Kirk got unalived. So did Artifacts. And you can hear at the end why I think he was working there as well. But he also knew Erica prior to this. I guess they like hung out and stuff back in her normal people days. So I figured we could take a listen to this audio. It does have some interesting things in it, you know. Yeah, let me make it a little faster though, because we don't want to be here for a long time for it. But let's have a listen.
A video and then a bunch of other stuff. She was trying to get in Hollywood scene, but I couldn't really break through. And with the modeling, she got way more gigs because she loves the part. And then she was a casting director and tried to get me on like the Love Island show back in 2000. And I told her
that was loud.
I was dating someone at the time because I was trying to act too, so I can get you off a show. And I'm like, I'm dating someone, so I don't know if I could do
Here,
that
let
show.
me make it bigger so you can read it.
Like, you know, find someone they want to be with. She literally told me, I'll never forget it. It was just like, oh no, like all these people, they like hook up and get together and then like they get married for the show. But then you could always divorce them. You can always just divorce them. And I thought she was just f***ing around with me, but she was like dead serious. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, that's a pretty weird like position to hold as a human being. Like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. Just go like around on this show and then like get married and divorce somebody for fame. Super strange, dude.
So like, what was this acting? So like, who's this guy? Why the what?
Oh, he was just like the head of the department. He was the head of that John Casablancas. They're an agency, but they're all over the world. Or they're all over North America. Well, that's what we were part of, is John Casablancas. And then that's basically, I think that's where she got her A start in the modeling acting world.
Damn. So, because I obviously, is that how like she got connected to the Trump modeling shit?
Yeah, so now he's gonna get into, so this was like, I don't know, she was doing some type of like casting something or other for she was trying to do some kind of show where they were just gonna like get together and get married for the show, and her, like, I guess her, allegedly her stance was like, it's okay if you get on the show and you mess around with people and then like marry them, because you could just like divorce them after the show, like no big deal, which kind of takes her out of character of what she allegedly stands for right now, because she's just so, yeah, they're probably recording it for their lord. But now he gets into her kind of modeling career, if you will, and all the different places that she went to school, and just some pretty interesting information that kind of makes you really remember what Candace said about her being part of some type of like modeling agency, kind of tangential to Jeffrey E stuff. So this kind of goes along with it. It's like an extra, I don't know, a little bit of a backup to what Candace was saying, I think, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to make it bigger just so you can read the words, because his voice is kind of like muffly. And I apologize for the beeps. You might just want to turn it down and read the words instead of listening to it loud, because the beeps are fucking loud and annoying. I don't know why they don't tone down the beeps, but this way you can hear or read the whole sentences that are going on. I will just make it bigger. But look at what he says about the modeling agency stuff and all the places she was like modeling for. It's kind of strange.
It's hard to say, because like everyone jumps ship, like with the agencies and the modeling stuff. They're always, if you're in, other agencies are always trying to like pull you into theirs, and get you to jump ship, because they take 10-15% of whatever their talent makes. I just know we were in for a convention, with True John Casablancas, and then at the convention, it's an expo, they have all the top managers there. So the goal is to get picked up by Elite, which is the top modeling agency in Miami, and they do all Italy stuff, the runway. But she's not tall, so she can never do like full runway stuff, but she can do commercial stuff. So like, I think she might have got picked up there and by somebody doing like Macy's commercials and all this sort of stuff where she flew around and did all these.
Well, yeah, I mean I've seen some of these weird commercials. There's that Kanye video that leaked. There's this other one where she's like doing a milk ad, and so I've been trying to trace where those, what that connection is, because like when you look up her background, it says she was raised Catholic. She attended Notre Dame, where she played basketball, earning a and it's like there's nothing mentioned about this acting school. It talks about she established Everyday Heroes Like You, a 501c3. She played basketball in Regis University in Denver, but there's no mention of this acting school.
Yeah, I mean, it's you pay to go in the school, and then you show up like once a week for a few months. So it's nothing like huge school-wise, but it is like, she did go through it, because that's how I met her. So, yeah, John Casablancas, she was involved in, and then, she bounced around celebrity.
I think it's pretty interesting too that he's saying like she went to acting school. So we always think that she's out here like the shittiest actor ever. Like she does such a shitty job acting, and we always look at her like, girl, you should not be like, you're not a good actor. Like you're not meant for this. But here he does say like he met her in this acting school. So allegedly she went to this acting school, and like Artifacts is saying there's no mention of that anywhere in her. When people dig into her past, there's literally no mention of it. But we also see her in these weird like commercials. We saw her in that one video, I can't remember, maybe it was milk, that he said it was like milk or something, I don't remember, but I remember she's like in this pink sweatshirt standing there talking about stuff. Like she was in some weird ass commercials too. So it tracks what he's saying, that she went to some type of like acting thing, and she was involved in like a modeling agency or some type of agency, because she was in these commercials. We saw these commercials. So yeah, I mean, it kind of like, it's all just little bits of information that kind of sprinkles in and legitimizes the things that Candace has been digging into and finding, right? And it's like, this just legitimizes it even more. And so yeah, he's talking about like she went to this school allegedly, like we all say. She does need to get her money back. I feel that the intelligent people see what the real truth is. Well, yeah, I agree. Questionable people disagree. I agree with that. I also think people that have been through some shitty stuff and can spot somebody who is trying to gaslight them and you know, I don't know the word, but yeah, people that can tell that stuff a mile away. You know, you've been screwed over before, so you can see somebody that's trying to screw people over from a mile away. Other people, maybe they can't. Like innocent people, maybe they can't. People that look at Erica and think, oh, she's such a good Christian. But then there's other people that look at her and go, you're saying all the things, but you're not doing the things. You know, there's a huge difference if you act like what you're saying. And a lot of times we don't see her acting that way, right? We see her saying some strange things and acting in ways that don't track with what she says she believes in and things like that. So, you know, this just is interesting to me because this might be where she got her acting, like the way she, you know, runs around here talking. Maybe she got this from her acting school. But he actually gets into this, and then he takes it all the way till when she met Charlie Kirk and exactly how she changed, and it's creepy. So let's continue to listen. Let me make this bigger, and let's continue.
She was at Regis. She was at La Jolla Marymount in California, and she did online school at Arizona State online for a while. I think she might have graduated from that. And then she went to Liberty and got her PhD. I mean, she bounced around from school to school. It was like crazy. And a lot of it was online when I knew her.
Wow. That's,
So yeah, it's like, I knew this person. I smoked weed with this person.
Oh, I'm sure the Christian conservatives would love to hear that.
Yeah, then she went to with her girlfriend, and we all went out. And, like, she had all these edibles, and we all did all these edibles together. And, like, she was just a chill, normal person who, like, you wanted to hang out with because she's gorgeous and also, like, going around the world doing cool shit. And she was, like, as, like, cool as we are right now. Just like, yeah, this is the truth. We're not calling bullshit. Just a normal, down-to-earth person. And then, once she met Charlie, dude, I had people, that still are like, yeah, I remember when you said that, like, you were like, this doesn't make any sense that she would.
I said the same thing about Charlie. I said this doesn't make sense. And that's why I think he's been honeypotted. And it's crazy that you say the same thing about Erica.
Oh, yeah, because she only dated athletes, dude. Like, she dated Cabot Phillips before that, briefly, and I thought that was strange. But then, she said that she broke up with him because he said that she was, like, anti-Israel at the time. He said that the Jews were not going to heaven. And that was her answer, so, like...
That's very strange, too, right? Because wasn't her stance with Charlie encouraging him to be anti-Israel at first or something like that, and then she turned like pro-Israel, but then she's saying she broke up with Cabot Phillips because, you know, he had a problem with the Philadelphians. So I'm really confused. She told us she studied uninterrupted for 8 months to become Christian, right? I wonder if she studied for 8 months to become a honeypot. That's what I wonder. I wonder about that myself personally. But yeah, he's like, you know, it's very strange how she ended it with Cabot Phillips because he was anti-Israel, I guess, which we never heard that before. That's new information. They poured into her, but pet of evangelical is a part of being evangelical is learning to evangelize, aka acting. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, Yulu. That's interesting. Yeah, so I mean, this kind of tracks, you know, this stuff is really tracking with all the things we already know, which I think is pretty interesting. And yeah, he now is going to get into the strangeness of how she kind of changed once she met Charlie Kirk. So let's continue.
I'm sure there was more to it, but she told me that he said the Jews aren't going to heaven, and that, like, that she realized they had like a separation of faith, morals, and that's why they broke up. I was like, okay. And then she started dating Charlie. And I was like, I get it. I mean, he's like 6'4". He like those tall guys.
Like, he did play basketball, so like, you know, kind of tracks.
Yeah, but before that, it was like soccer player, baseball player, NBA player, like, and you're just, you know, he's influential, and, but it's like, she swore she would never leave New York City. She loved it there. She'd never come back to Arizona. She hated it. She hated being here, dude. And even when they were dating, she didn't want to come back. But then...
Well, she was never around Turning Point. That's why I've been, like, so frustrated, is because, you know, she was always off doing her own thing, which okay, but like now all of a sudden you're just going to command the strongest political activism company in modern American history. That's crazy.
Yeah. So to see you go from that to this is like, oh my God, I don't know who you are, and gee, I don't really want to know. But you spent 10 years telling people to fight and like break the conversation, go on the offense, because conservatives just play defense. It's literally quote from Charlie. You're telling everybody to do that, and then the second that this event happens, oh, shut up, listen to everybody, don't ask questions, you're a fool for asking questions. I'm like, cool, even if I'm 100% wrong, I'm gonna ask questions. Because Charlie got things wrong all the time, but he still asks questions. Like, that's why people flock to him so much, because he was intellectual, and then pressed the narrative, always. Like, and now we're just supposed to shut up, like guys. You guys can live your hell that you live in. You can stay at Turning Point and never grow as a human being. Like, you're gonna stay there for 10 years. Like, you're not growing as a human being. You're just in the middle of this cult, and the second you escape it, you'll see that all of your behavior has been forged by the groupthink of that whole organization, and that in the real world, reality isn't like that. And all these narratives that you guys have been playing to yourself, the real world doesn't work like that.
Interesting, he calls it a cult, right? I think more and more people are kind of looking at it like a cult nowadays. It's a little bit I mean, I called it from the second I watched that what was it, the something summit she just did, and I was just in shock at all the changes that the Lord told her to make, right? She left space for the Lord to decide what they were going to do moving forward, and they made all these changes, and I said, this is very cult-like. And now this guy's like, yeah, like, you guys seem like you're in a damn cult, and you're not going to grow if you're stuck there. And I just think it's interesting. She did some modeling, she did some other things, acting, didn't want to leave New York, just had a lot of different viewpoints, right? And then, of course, she hits that 8 months of whatever it is. Then she comes out of that, and it's like super Christian or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just found that interesting, that and the rest of it's just kind of him talking about Turning Point USA and how, weird they kind of got, and people just being stuck there. He said the employees used to disagree on a lot of things, and they would still get along and be able to do their thing, but you're not really allowed to ask questions anymore. You're allowed to, you have to just take what they say and shut the hell up, basically, is what we're kind of like what we see, right? And I found this post over on X I wanted to share with you guys because I think it's hilarious. It is my favorite allegedly virgin, bald-headed bastard, Blake Neff, and he just basically wanted to go in on Candace, right? He says, Candace is now claiming explicitly that Utah prosecutors deliberately altered UVU security footage to frame Tyler Robinson, and also that Robinson's defense lawyers, who have access to the same evidence, did nothing to point this out or contest it during a week-long preliminary hearing. She, of course, knows this is ridiculous and false. She just thinks other people will be dumb enough to believe her, and her goal is to spray enough stupid ink in the public forum to taint the jury and allow Charlie's killer to get away with it. And I think it's hilarious that Blake has anything to say about this video right here, because looking at this video, you can clearly see that this is not fucking Tyler Robinson. Anybody can see that this is not Tyler Robinson. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he's talking to. Honest to God. I mean, why aren't you mentioning the fact that this doesn't look anything like Tyler Robinson? If you're Charlie Kirk's friend and you really give a shit about who killed him, why would you say anything like this at all? Why wouldn't you be saying, holy shit, this isn't Tyler Robinson? Who's in this video? This is weird, right? And of course he gets community noted because he's an asshole, all right? And he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, allegedly. And he said, and the community note says, Candace Owens stated that the court footage had its aspect ratio adjusted, but explicitly said she cannot assert whether it was done intentionally or incidentally, and did not claim prosecutors deliberately altered it to frame Robinson. This is how these guys are flailing around like idiots over here on X. Honest to God, every time they post something, it's community noted because they're just lying to us, or at least not. They don't know what the hell they're talking about at the very least, right? I don't know if I could say they're lying. Allegedly, in my opinion, I think they're lying, but maybe they're just fucking stupid. Blake is very stupid. And, Andrew seems pretty fucking stupid too. Excuse my language. It just pissed me off today. They really have. Okay. They pissed me off. And then they get community noted because they're full of shit. And, it does get worse because they do go on and on with each other. Let's see here. I don't know if it's in this one or this one, but, yeah, somebody even just puts them side by side and is like, they're very desperate now. I mean, come on, this is not, you can tell by the muscles alone. Like, come on now. Like, get out of here. Look how chubby his legs are. I mean, they're not even chubby, they're muscular, but like, it's not the same person. It just isn't. Okay. Sam Parker says the same thing. And they're pointing out that other guy. And yeah, I wanted this post because Blake did go in and was arguing with Candace. I thought it was on this one, but evidently it is not. If it was an open and shut case, there really is nothing Candace could do to taint the jury. So what are you worried about, Blake? And Mason says, you can do this forever. You'll be incriminated. We don't care how long it takes. Stop already. You have no shame at all. You're such a disgusting human being. You're a fucking lowlife. For Christ's sakes, God have mercy on your pathetic soul. Blake's out here stacking up those community notes. Exactly. It's just, oh, look, here's Blake. I love it. Look at him twerking. Go ahead, Blake. We're taking a screenshot of this one. I didn't know Blake got in the mood. I didn't realize he was twerking like that. Go ahead, Blake. Hope this helps you, little gremlin. Oh my God. Just so ridiculous. But yeah, he gets into it with Candace. I thought I had the one where he was arguing with her. It was pretty funny. But I guess it's just not in my thing here today. Yeah, and Andrew Kolvet, of course, weighs in. He has something to say all the time. When Candace actually came out and, actually told us what was going on with her source, right? She gave us her source. She said Andrew Kolvet told her a whole bunch of stuff. And I think he's just kind of getting nervous about everything she's been revealing because it's been a lot. But yeah, I did. Oh, it's on this one. She said, did we ever get an ID on this guy? Christopher, just realizing he didn't drive Charlie to the hospital. And of course, she's like pointing it out. And then he was also in the video you shared yesterday with Terrell. We've not. He drove Charlie to UVU. Where it is. Blake Neff can't remember nothing. God, where's the one where this is the one where Blake, here it is. He says, do you ever get tired of harassing random innocent people, you witch? She goes, you okay, Blake? He says, every day you pick new innocent people to target with lies and innuendo. People did nothing wrong, so you can pursue your grift. Revelation 21:8. And I love how Blake tries to quote the fucking Bible. Anybody in chat, let me know, is any single one of you think Blake is a Christian? Let me know in chat. Put a 1 if you think he is a Christian, and put a 2 if you think he should shut the fuck up because he doesn't know what he's talking about. I cannot stand people that act like complete gremlins and monsters and demons quoting the Bible at me. I can't deal with it. I can't. You can fuck all the way off of Blake Neff. Nobody thinks you're a Christian. Not a single person. Yeah, my whole chat says no. Sorry, you asshole. Not happening. We don't believe you. Seriously, honest to goodness, this dude gets on my goddamn nerves. Don't you dare, especially to somebody like Candace, who we know is a very faithful Christian, right? Very faithful Christian. And he's going to sit here and quote the goddamn Bible at her? Oh, no. She said, calm down, Blake. I just want to know why he was upstairs by the Sorensen building just before Charlie got hit. In light of the text messages you had Andrew Wilson share, wherein Charlie specifically instructed security to stay on him. Maybe he saw something up there. Help find Chris. He knows things. Blake Neff, is this the guy you've been trying to hide? Is this why you've been extraordinarily suspicious about who was driving the SUV? I think it's time to be very clear about who was in the SUVs traveling. And I don't know what this is. I'm taking that weirdo guy off campus, I guess. Yeah, there he is here too. Look at that. Right there in this video. Muppet Masher caught this one. Very interesting. Oh, and somebody does have a name. George then being arrested and dropped the strange device. We see Chris coming, running back from out near the lake. Angel Paccio somehow has a roll of police tape, and Braden Glasscock still taking video, even though his boss was just brutally unalived. Yeah. Oh, is he the one that planted the backpack at the bus stop, allegedly? People were wondering. Still working on it. He is the hardest to find of all the security guys. Here he's doing something in the trunk before disappearing till the shot. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess they just thought people would let this all go. Nobody was going to question anything. Did you see Mikey returning to the crime scene in Candace's new Farnsworth video? I did not notice that. Yeah, he can keep that scripture out his damn mouth. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I am only now just starting to get into thinking about religion and things like that. And I don't like this shit. I don't like it one bit. Don't quote scripture to me when you are a fucking demon. How about let's not do that? Okay? Not at all. I hate that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves in life. I really can't stand it. Did you see Andrew actually defended Candace with Andrew Kolvet, even though he couldn't handle lies anymore? Even he couldn't handle lies anymore. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, nobody believes them. Nobody watches them. Nobody like anything, you know? My channel has not even 9,000 subscribers, and I got 166 people sitting here hanging out with me tonight. All right. Blake Neff, they got the whole Charlie Kirk Show YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, and he had 200 people watching him. Not even 200. So he's neck and neck with me, and I have 9,000 subscribers. Like, what are you doing? Nobody cares about those two goons. Literally nobody. I would love to know who's actually watching. They've got to be like bots or something. I can't imagine a single person. Could you imagine somebody being like, oh, Blake's on. Let me turn it on. Hey guys, hurry up. Get over here. Blake's on. Come on, watch Blake. Let's watch Blake. No, not at all. AI said, when asked time to study Bible well to pass undercover as a pastor's wife, 12 to 18 months of focused immersion to be truly convincing to insiders, not just quoting scripture. Yeah. Yeah, she must not have stayed long enough, you know? Yeah, that's creepy. There's a meta answer for this question. Yeah. Oh, I know. Andrew Wilson is still literally I had a whole bunch of things. I was gonna go live on I think it was Tuesday, and I collected a bunch of clips because Andrew Wilson made a live stream, and then he like crashed out on a live stream, and then he took it down. But people recorded a bunch of stuff from his live stream, and he was just saying some crazy stuff. And I'm just like, I just was laughing my ass off at it. I had people in my comment section, even not many, right? Not many. I had a few though. I just saw one come in earlier. I was on my phone reading a book, and I saw like a thing come in from my YouTube channel saying, somebody was like, you guys are so stupid for, thinking Andrew Wilson lost. And I didn't even look at it because I don't care. Honestly, I think, it is what it is. You can't explain things to stupid people. You can't explain things to dumbasses. You can't make them understand normal things. And so, like I said, there's nothing we can do. I'm not here to convince you. If you didn't fucking notice it, that's because you're an idiot. You know what I mean? If you didn't realize who won that debate and who lost that debate, that's on you. I can't help you to be smarter. I really can't. I can give you my opinion, and you can just take it or leave it. You don't have to listen to it, right? YouTube is, you're allowed to just change the channel. You're allowed to like not watch somebody if you don't want to watch them. So, you know, you don't need to come here and tell me what you think, because I don't care what you think. That's the funny part. And so we talked about this doxing stuff a while back, and I even made a video. I did a live stream where I talked about it because Lisa Knows was over on Gary's channel, and they were talking about, what's her name? The Leah files. Somebody doxed the Leah files, and then a couple of other people were getting threatened with doxing, and Bays made a comment on it saying like this stuff connects with I can't remember the guys, Benny Johnson, something with Benny Johnson. Like, it was a bigger thing than just doxing people. But there's a huge bunch of stuff going on X right now from Travis. Okay, he's been posting day after day about this guy who evidently works for Experian. Okay, he said and he's the one out here, like, I guess, helping to dox people. He's posting things like this from the Leah files. I guess he's one of the people who originally kind of doxed her. I don't know. But Travis is saying, does Experian not care that their employee Zach is doxing people by posting pictures of their minor children, real names, work history, and more? Though Experian, through Experian, Zach has free reign to databases that contain every American's most secure information. This is absolutely unacceptable. And he has been posting about this for days now, for like a couple of days now. And it's kind of creepy, and it's kind of terrifying, and it's crazy because Gary is also out here on X literally saying like that this doxing stuff is cool. He is totally behind it, right? I think I had a clip of him even saying that, and I don't know if it's in this one or the other one, because a lot of these were Andrew Wilson. Oh yeah, and I don't know if this is real, but I think it's real. Travis posted, who broke Gary's nose and why? So I don't know if this is legit, but I think it might be. Did somebody break Gary's nose? Like, what happened to Gary? Let me see. Yeah, these were all the things with Andrew Wilson. Somebody got a shot of this and said, is it crack? And they put a picture of his teeth. And I was just cracking up. Look at his shitty ass face, and then ew. Candace had to sit across from that and debate that. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine? And then the Crucible says someone's lying. The parents are quoted in the signed charging document on the record. Father stated Robinson implied he was the shooter in person. They talked about Robinson turning himself in, so they contacted a friend to facilitate either the document is lying or Barron is, and then they get community noted. And it says in Utah, being on the record means that a statement is being recorded by a court reporter or by the court's electronic recording system so that a verbatim record of what was said can be saved as part of the court record. A cop saying someone said something in a report is not. Just funny. They just keep getting community noted, right? Over and over again. And then here's Andrew Kolvet trying to convince us once again that, you know, it's important. It's an important point for those who say the surveillance footage doesn't look like Tyler Robinson. So it's important to note that just because we don't think that looks like Tyler Robinson, just so you know, the people on Discord in his Discord chat, they were like, that's Tyler Robinson. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. All right. How many of you guys are on Discord? How many of you guys know about Discord or are on Discord by chance? Just put a 1 if you're on Discord, if you've been on Discord, whatever. And for those of you who have not, all right, for those of you who are not on Discord, Discord isn't like Facebook. It's not really like Reddit. It's like its own little thing, right? And you don't really put your face on Discord. You don't really put a bunch of pictures of yourself on Discord. You don't like do any of that. I mean, I'm on Discord with a ton of people and I don't know what any of them look like. Not a single one. And I don't know why you would, unless you're like posting selfies, which is weird because not many people post selfies on Discord. It's more like a shit talking place, right? You get on there, you message people, you shit talk, you show things, you put up like memes and things like that. But you ain't over here like Facebook posting pictures of yourself doing things, right? It's not that type of social media platform. It's not. So you don't put your fucking pictures on Discord. At least, you know, not very often. And yes, you could live video chat. You could do video chats if you're video chatting, whatever. But for the most part, like if you're hanging out with your buddies video gaming on Discord, you usually show your game. You don't show your face. You show your game if you're gaming on Discord with people, okay? Whatever it is you're doing, that's what you show. You don't like usually get on here and like do this kind of thing. So people might not really know what he looks like. And so for him to say like, oh, on the Discord chat, his friends thought the surveillance images just looked like him. I mean, I'd like to know how many of them actually thought that, right? And for him to say, no, look at the pictures. It was me. I'm serious. That doesn't indicate that the people on Discord were like, oh yeah, that's him. Because if it was him, he wouldn't have to go, no, look, no, for real, it was me. I'm dead serious. Why would you say that if they thought it was you? If they were like, oh, that's Tyler, why would he go, yeah, it is me. No, for real, look at the things. I'm dead serious. Why would he say that? So that's stupid. Don't tell me that's what he meant, because that's stupid. Why would he say, I'm serious? It was me. I'm serious. Look at the footage. It's me. Look at the pictures of the footage. It's me. I'm serious. Like, come on. And of course, he's just trying to push that and try to tell us like, this is him. But the funny thing is somebody actually put up a post and they took a picture of all the backpacks that this guy in the red shirt in your second favorite shirt, right, had on. And it was funny because there was like 5 different backpacks or 4 different backpacks and each one is different. So what do you mean? He changed his clothes and his backpack too? No, I don't think so. That's stupid. You're not going to change your backpack. So it was like, why are you pushing this? Why do you want us to think this is him when it doesn't look like him? When I saw these in the very beginning, when I saw these ones here, I did not think that was him. To me, I was like, that is not the same kid. That's not Tyler. Are you kidding? I saw these and didn't think that was him from the very beginning. It's crazy. Yeah, I could see that and see. Yeah, because they don't, you could put anything you want on there. Like, it just, you don't really put a lot of pictures up. I've never seen, I've been in a bunch of different servers and I've just never seen people putting pictures of themselves up. I just never have seen that, And so it's like, what do you mean his Discord friends thought it was him? Unless they were friends that he was like, he knew personally outside of Discord and they just happened to be in a chat together, maybe. But it's just, to me, and even the words he spoke saying, no, for real, it's me, dead serious, I'm serious. That doesn't sound like they were convinced it was him, that they knew it was him immediately. So it's just such lies. It's like, shut up. You're not even, why are you doing this? We can see that doesn't look like him. So what are you saying? Like, why do you want us to think so much that that is him? Just weird. Bossy said, if anyone paid to listen to this clown yesterday, please demand a refund and complain. Yeah, and this was just those ones from Andrew Wilson that I found. Let's see. I'm getting ready. I think I want to watch this one with Paramount Tactical and just react to it sometime, because I think he's probably really stupid in it and it'll be so funny. I want to find a thing where, I thought I had one of Paramount Tactical up there. Let's see. Let me just put you back over here a second till I dig this up, because I want to see if I can find the one where Paramount Tactical was on a oh, this is a good one. Let me actually pull this up. And I'm just gonna play this even if I might not be allowed. Oh wait, where did my thing go? Where did my thing go? Here it is. Okay. Even if I'm not allowed and I get in trouble, I want to play this for you guys. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. But if not, it's too funny not to watch. So I'm going to make it full screen and then make it full screen here so you guys can see this. It's freaking hilarious. Okay. Get ready. Where's the volume? Hang on, guys. I just want to make sure it's perfect for you.
Everyone assumes a bullet travels from point A to point B.
Because it does.
That's a very three-dimensional way of looking at it. But what if the bullet doesn't travel across space? What if it travels through it?
Okay. But where's the bullet?
Exactly.
Exactly what?
It disappeared midair. Extremely common. Next time you hear my voice, I'll be on the other side of space.
What day?
Saturday.
Then you won't hear mine. It'll be Shabbat.
Mission log. Bullets disappear in midair more often than people realize. The question isn't whether it happens. The question is, where do they go? I'm here to find out.
Extremely common.
No. Don't go. Don't go! Andrew! Don't go to the debate! Rachel! Don't let me leave, please! Don't let me leave, Rachel! You don't know the charges! Stay home! Rachel, stop me! No! Wait! Rachel, don't let me go, please! You're gonna say positive evidence 47 times! Don't go! Rachel. Please.
Was that the best thing you've seen all day or what? I cannot take it. You can say positive evidence 47 times. Is that how many times he says it? I really wonder how many times he said positive evidence. I am dying too, girl. That was probably the best. That was probably the best one I've seen yet. The best one I've seen. He's like, Saturday. She's like, I will not answer you. It's Shabbat. I love that. I just absolutely love that. I had to share that with you guys. Of all the things, that was so funny. And then this is Jen, the producer. This is Gary's, the lady who works with Gary. And she's like, hey, for the men coming on my page trying to get me to say something bad about Andrew Wilson because he called women retards, a large population of women are retarded. A good portion of men are retarded too. Anyone who follows Candace, retarded. Anyone who supports that Clancy murderous mother, retarded. Anyone who thinks Tucker Carlson is going to be president, retarded. Marjorie Taylor Greene, most people on the left. Have I made myself abundantly clear? And it's like, yeah, girl, we can totally understand what you're saying there. I completely understood that as she's just retarded. That's what I got from that. Let's see. Don't worry, everyone. All of the AI models say there's no evidence this Haiti spy plane was doing surveillance flying low over Candace and Barron. It's okay. It was probably just a training exercise or something because it is illegal to spy on American citizens. But, you know, yeah. And I just can't with this stuff. There's just always something, guys. Let's see. Can't be Andrew Wilson. Wait. Somebody said, Owen said it's cool for Andrew to join me and go over his debate with Candace and address the claims that he's being paid by TPUSA. That's not Andrew, though, is it?
Positive evidence that I humiliated myself.
Oh, this is just it's such a thing. Let's see what it says, though.
Dude, she crushed you. But under your worldview, you have zero epistemic foundation to ground on objective moral truth. You're simply borrowing Christian capital to justify a secular preference.
Oh, you got humiliated and crushed. Dude, what are you laughing at?
All she did was incoherent babble and grumble. I merely let her speak and make her claims and tie her down to them and let her incoherent reasoning do the legwork.
What's a grimble? A grimble?
It's a common paddle machine. Zero evidence, zero positive evidence, just mumbo jumbo and no nicotine patches.
I think one of the major moments of the debate was when you said there was overwhelming evidence against Tyler Robinson, and then you said you were only 75% convinced. That was when things really changed. 75% convinced.
Are you making a perspective claim?
A perspective, like my perspective? I don't think you're saying that.
This is pretty much how it goes, too. He just makes shit up. Oh my God. This is really funny. He does just make stuff up. He does have his own words and stuff like that. It's kind of weird.
Are you making a prescriptive claim or a descriptive claim?
Andrew, enough with that. How about the fact that the key video that was claimed to be a slam dunk clearly is not even Tyler Robinson?
Opinions need evidence. Like when people say I'm gay, or dumb, or psychotic, or stupid.
Yes.
None of those are true. I operate in the multi-theory of guilt. If something is possible somewhere in one of infinite universes, the prosecution has met its burden of guilt. You see, Benjamin, I'm currently tying you down to a claim that I can later use to sue you for. For example, true or false, you said my wife, Rachel, was harmed at SeaWorld because she is a sperm whale.
Oh, shit.
Did you say that?
Are you having a hard time lighting that cigarette?
It's become obvious that the left has made lighters impossible to light. This Bic,
Oh my God.
No, you need
this Bic is impossible to light
you need
with
grip strength.
even the strongest hands
No.
in all of the multiverse universes.
No. You're just weak-handed. You have a very weak hand.
The grip strength required now for a common Bic is evidence of a global conspiracy against me.
Oh, so now you are a conspiracy theorist with Bic lighters.
Are you even operating under a dialectical paradigm?
I can't with this guy. This is exactly how it felt like he was talking in that debate, too. That positive evidence thing, I can't with that positive evidence. I can't. I really thought to myself, is she presenting evidence? Is Candace actually presenting evidence? Because he keeps saying, no, she's not showing any type of evidence. So I went ahead and I looked up at what evidence means. And if you just look up the definition of evidence, it's like, anything that helps you prove a point is basically what evidence is. And so all the things that she said, every single thing that she listed, guess what? It's actually evidence if you use the definition of fucking evidence. Okay. I mean, I don't know. What if hers wasn't evidence, right? It's any little thing that you can see or hear. I mean, it doesn't have to be like an actual paper receipt. That's not evidence, So, I mean, I love how they keep trying to tell us what's evidence because, come on. If it was actually something in court, they would use all the things that Candace found as actual evidence, right? If it was if it was just a court hearing in general, I could see them bringing up all that stuff about hey, there was some strange things going on here. This happened, that happened. All these little things add up. And for her to list all these things and them to say that's not positive evidence. You don't have any positive evidence. So, I mean, I didn't even look up what is positive evidence. What's fucking positive evidence anyway? As opposed to just evidence. And he brought up again in his little bantering with Turning Point USA, Andrew Wilson brought up again the fact that receipt that supposedly they have from the Panguitch Steakhouse is, they said that wasn't evidence. Again, they made sure to talk about that again, which is kind of weird. So yeah, it's just what the hell is positive evidence? And why do they keep telling us that none of the things Candace mentioned were actual evidence when they were? Actually, every single thing was. Anything that you can use to prove something is evidence. And so all those little details that she gave us and all the little, discrepancies. It's all evidence. Every single thing she said. And they should have actually had PBD at the very beginning say, all right, let's define evidence. Let's start out by defining evidence. And they should, Candace should have did that herself. She should be like, actually, let's look at the definition of evidence. Let's fact check the definition of evidence before we get started in this whole thing, because there's no such thing as positive evidence. It's like evidence or not evidence, right? Current letters will have your fingers looking like your lumberjack. Evidently. Here we go. Positive evidence is direct proof or affirmative testimony that establishes the truth of a fact in an issue, distinguished from circumstantial or presumptive evidence. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we would have to have positive evidence in the debate then. Direct proof or affirmative testimony. I guess, yeah, that's all positive evidence then, right? Because it helps establish the truth of a fact in an issue. So everything she said was positive evidence, I guess. Even lack of evidence is evidence. I mean, you know, just all the little things that she listed was evidence. And they just tried to win the debate by saying, so there's no evidence. I mean, you could say there's no evidence, but we all just heard all the evidence. So like, it's stupid. Yeah, it's positively not Tyler Robinson's in those grainy photos, different jeans. Yeah, it's just a shame that they keep trying to push that off, especially Andrew Kolvet. That was supposed to be your friend. That was supposed to be your friend. And Candace made a good point on her show yesterday too, by saying like, the only reason I could come up with here is that maybe, you know, Andrew Kolvet feels threatened or something like that. Maybe he is being threatened or afraid to lose his life, because if they could do that to Charlie, they could do that to anyone. And that's such a good point. You know, I think that's a great point that she made about that, because I mean, that may be why Andrew was willing to give her all this information at first, and then suddenly he just doesn't know anything that happened, right? He's just so, you know, everything's like a big mystery to him after that. He doesn't know. Let me see. Andrew Kolvet blatantly lies is the Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, this is what I want to look at here, where Andrew Kolvet lies, and she tells us all about how he is her actual source this whole time. He's the one who's the source.
Anyway, I do also want to show you this clip, which they're trying to push, which is Candace told me she was going to burn Turning Point USA to the ground. All right, Andrew, let us hear what you have to say.
But I remember one conversation, it was probably like 5 or 6 days after. And I remember I had flown to DC. We had JD Vance hosted Charlie's show on that Monday after. So Charlie was killed on a Wednesday, and then JD hosted the show on the Monday. So I remember I flew back, landed in the airport, and I believe I was talking to Candace, and she said something that I've not publicly communicated yet, but basically it was that if the wrong people take over the organization, and she said this, I'll never forget it. She says, I will burn down that organization. I swear to God.
And you mean Turning Point?
Turning Point. If the wrong people, and I just assumed because she was very obviously
there were
anti-Jewish.
rumors at this time, like it was
5 days, 6 days after, whatever it was. She said, I'm going to burn down that organization. I swear to God. And I just thought she meant if the Jews take over. Or
Ben Shapiro.
Like
let's just say the name.
Ben
People
Shapiro,
were thrown out because Ben Shapiro had appeared on the show. Some people ran with like, Ben Shapiro has now taken over Turning
Well, he
Point
hadn't
USA.
appeared. I don't know if he'd appeared on that. I think he was actually going to show up the next day on the Tuesday.
Yeah, Blake, you have no idea what you're talking about. Actually, if you go back and watch my show, I said early on, and now I have a different opinion. I said, I think people that all think that Ben Shapiro, because he said pick up the bloody mic, wants to take over Turning Point USA, I said, I think that that's just wrong. I'm on record saying that. So you can't just make stuff up, Blake, and pretend that I was taking the bait about Ben Shapiro. What I was actually taking the bait on was the conversations that I was having with Andrew Kolvet on the phone. I was speaking to Andrew Kolvet on the phone every single day, and it was Andrew Kolvet who was telling me, and we were speaking about a potential foreign angle in Charlie's assassination, okay? I can show you text messages to that effect. I can actually show you this call log if you can pull it up. He's talking about literally on August 14th, after he and I had been speaking. It was just, you have the exact date, Andrew, in case you want to make a timeline. September.
Well, let's just stop right here. Is this Candace Owens giving us positive evidence of her source? and her source happened to be Andrew Kolvet this whole time. Oh my gosh. And NC says, I believe the servers. I was a server. I remember my customers. Exactly. And they're trying to, act like these two servers who say they saw him is it's just crazy. Just crazy. The big question becomes, why didn't they have this information at court? They turned it over to the FBI. What's going on here? Because if we all know about it now, they need to do something about it, because we all know now, especially if they verify that receipt and it actually has his debit card information on it. That's a huge deal, right? But yeah, this here, evidently Andrew Kolvet was Candace Owens' source for the longest time. She even has call logs to prove it. I mean, you guys want to know who her sources are so bad. Here they go. Here's the biggest one. Andrew Kolvet, her very
14th,
first
2025 was when you and I spoke for 17 minutes. On the 13th, on the 12th, you were the one that was telling me about the Bill Ackman summit. You were the one that was telling me about Bibi Netanyahu's letter, and telling me that Mikey McCoy had this letter on Charlie's laptop. And you told me basically that Charlie in this letter said that he was kind of pulling away from the Israel cause. We talked about that extensively. You were the one that told me about the text messages. Notice I'm saying plural text messages to Dan Flood and to yourself the night before, that Charlie thought that he was going to be killed. And you never, ever, ever once said, and when I spoke to other people who confirmed this, that it was the left. In fact, I specifically asked you, who is they? And you said, I don't know. You were the one who told me about that chat, that Charlie saying, I'm abandoning the pro-Israel cause. So don't make it seem like it's weird that I was thinking about Israel in those days. And then Bibi Netanyahu goes on and says, I didn't kill him, as you are feeding me this information that I would not have had otherwise about how Charlie declined to have Bibi Netanyahu on his show, and he was growing increasingly more agitated with Israeli involvement and willing to walk away from this. And I can even show a text message that I sent to you, and then we talked on the phone because you're a PR agent, so whenever I would text, you would call. Smart way to do this. But where I even said to you, after Bibi went on and held up the letter, I messaged you because you were the one that told me about the letter and said this. This was our conversation. I can't sleep, just destroyed September 11th. This is all September 11th, but you were on a plane, so it was coming in weird. You wrote same, in and out of sleep, and I'm up again. I said, who did this? This was a government hit. We need answers. And then you can see on September 11th, you and I had a conversation, and I said, Bibi's lying about the contents of a letter that Charlie wrote him. He's making it seem like it was just him writing a love letter about how much he loves Israel. I know that's not true, and it's making me sick. I knew it wasn't true because Andrew Kolvet was the one who told me about the letter. So it's just incredible that he is reintroducing this as if Candace was like, she's going to burn. Like, I was basically saying that if this is true and there is foreign involvement, like, we will burn this place to the ground. If they're staging this to try to take over his company, meaning we, because I'm talking to you and this is Charlie's organization and we don't know who killed him yet. We don't know what the motive was. And he was totally supportive and giving me more information. And now he's pretending like, oh, I don't know why she said that. I don't know why. I was so scared. And actually what
a turd, right? What a turd. He was the one that was her source from the beginning. And now he's out here trying to pretend like all the stuff that she said, he's twisting everything around. I mean, he gets community noted every 2 seconds, and it's just more bullshit. It's more bullshit. And she has the call logs and the text message to prove what she said. And she even goes so far as to say, I'm super glad that Erica Kirk got to take over the company. Here's my new number. She wants my new number. She was clearly cool with it. She was clearly thinking that everything was, running perfectly smoothly over Turning Point USA at that point in time, right? She didn't start looking into Erica until Erica Kirk sat down and lied to her face. And that's when she said, oh, nope, bitch, nope. And she started looking into her. She started thinking she was suspicious for some reason. Like, we don't know. She's just very suspicious. She seems suspicious. Don't know what she's over here doing, but whatever it is, she's weird, okay? And the whole entire world gets a weird vibe off her, except for people that are freaky. All right, if you are a freak, if you think Eric Kirk doesn't give off a creepy vibe, you are just as creepy, and I don't want nothing to do with you. I really don't, okay? Because then there's something you're missing. You're lacking something. Because if you can't get that vibe, like, could you imagine sitting across from Erica Kirk? I don't know how Candace did it. I really don't. Anyways, here she is talking, telling us what Andrew said.
He said to me on the 14th was, no, on that front, we're good. We don't have to worry about that because the board has already voted in Erica. Don't say this yet. We're not announcing it publicly, but Erica is taking over the company. And what I said to him was, thank God. So he left that out. He left out the context that actually Candace became a bull. And as I was telling her information about how Charlie was pulling away from Israel as a possible motive for what happened, as we had no answers. I mean, this is 4 days after Charlie's assassination. We didn't know anything. We didn't know if there were foreign ties. We knew nothing. And he is giving me this Israeli narrative. Now he's like, oh, I think she just thought it was the Jews. I don't know why. Well, you do know why, Andrew, that I thought Israel was involved in this and why I still believe that there is an Israeli angle. And to try to wrench yourself out of that as the person who was my number one source on all of this information is complete lunacy.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Yeah, Candace baby had to listen to that nasty man. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, she admits right there. It's Andrew who pointed her toward Israel from the very beginning. And for him to just try to uninsert himself from that narrative and pretend like Candace is crazy for thinking it. Meanwhile, he's the one that gave her that information. He's the one that sent that text message to Joe Kent. Remember? He's the one who thought something was up with that text and sent it to Joe Kent. Andrew got and stared at Erica's honeypot bull butter. He was all in. After everything went down, he realized he got played. Now he's in way too deep. Yeah, Kennedy. That seems like something there, because I don't know what's going on with Andrew. It's just allegedly, you flip and now all of a sudden he's trying to say he never said any of this stuff to Candace. He's trying to twist everything around to make it like Candace just came up with this Israeli angle out of nowhere because she's nuts. Meanwhile, she just proved that that's not the case. She just proved to us that it was Andrew who was feeding her this information. He was her number one source from the very beginning. And then all of a sudden it just, everything starts going strange. And then you wonder why she thinks something's up. Anybody would feel that way. Anybody would. If your friend was literally giving you all this information and they seem to be like, on your side and just as worried as you were. And then all of a sudden it's a complete 180 and they're acting like you're crazy. Of course, now you're going to think they're suspicious. That's just normal. That's just what any of us would do, right? That's what anyone else would do in that situation. And so the fact that he's out here saying this stuff now, she just proved how strange he's acting and how strange this whole thing went down. Like, why would you totally flip, Andrew? Why would all of a sudden there be, an issue with you admitting that you told Candace this information? Why all of a sudden is there no Israeli angle? Meanwhile, you thought there was the whole time. And then it would make more sense if he would just have said, like, yes, I thought that as well at the beginning. I talked to Candace about it. I thought the same thing, but after seeing things unfold, I realized that wasn't the case. And so now I'm off of it. Like, I know it's not the case, so I'm not on that no more. Instead, he pretends like it never happened. And then again, that's the mistakes that he's making. Instead of being a little bit more transparent with the public, because the public knows more than what he thinks that we know, right? He's not transparent. And so we keep catching him like just trying to cover things up and get out of things. And this is one of the bigger issues that I have with Andrew Kolvet is things like this. And then he comes out and tries to play like Candace is some kind of crazy person and he doesn't know what she's talking about. And, now we see that she does. She has the receipts. She has the positive evidence that Andrew Kolvet was one of her sources. Everyone associated with that weirdo organization is in love with the weirdo nation. Yeah, it seems definitely like that, in my opinion.
And I think I have a message where I even said, give Erica my number. Was that on there where I was like, give Erica my new number?
Yep, there it is.
14th, after we're talking about this. I'm angry now. I'm at a stage of real anger. Also, please send Erica my new number. She only has my old one. Your whole narrative that you're trying to sell now, as if I was very happy that Erica was taking over the organization. And when I was fearful that there could have been some sort of outside foreign involvement and motive with Israel, who wanted his organization for reasons that were not yet clear, but we all knew Bibi's behavior was very strange afterward, and you agreed with that. So try to tell the truth, Andrew. Try to put things in their proper context. Tell the truth about France and what was going on and why Charlie agreed to it. Tell the truth about why Israel was on my mind, what you said about Bill Ackman staging an intervention, what you said about Charlie declining to have Bibi on his show, which you also admitted that you even expressed that concern to Joe Kent, which you now make it seem like he's an enemy, but you were the one who put the Israel narrative in everyone's mind. Andrew, it was you. And by the way, I think for the first time ever, you were telling the truth. You were telling the truth. And then you suddenly pulled it all back and started lying and have been attacking us since, the people who are trying to get to the.
And now and that's what I mean. Then people wonder why she's so suspicious of them. That's a huge reason why. I would be too. And anybody who's watching that and who didn't realize that, if you see what she's saying and see this proof that she just showed, you should be questioning that as well. Because this is weird, okay? People don't just change their stance and their opinions like that out of nowhere and, suddenly, not for just no reason at all.
Bottom of this. And I have to, I don't know, assume that you're doing it out of fear. That's the most charitable read on why you're lying in this way, is out of fear. Because if you truly do believe that Israel had something to do with Charlie's assassination, then you would probably recognize that they would have no trouble assassinating you too. Again, that is my most charitable read, but I wanted to put things in their proper context because this is.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, right? And I thought that from the very. I've even gone so far as to say perhaps that's why Erica acts so strange, right? Maybe they're all under some type of pressure. They have to realize that if they can do this to Charlie, they can do it to any one of them. Ulu, thank you so much for the $4.99. She said, so smart. Yes, they don't know what we know because they only hate watch clips. Oh, damn. They are not smart. Hubris. Yeah. They don't know what we know. And then he comes out and says that stuff. And it's like, we clearly can see that now we can see he totally flipped the switch and now started acting very strange. No wonder she's suspicious. Any normal human being would be. And anybody who wasn't prior to this should be after hearing this, because it's strange. It's strange. They tried to lie about her friendship again. They tried to lie about quite a few different things. And Blake Neff got in there and was saying something. I'm not even playing the clip because I can't stand Blake's bald-headed ass. But he got in there and he was like saying things about her not being friends with Charlie. Like, I didn't know her. I never met her. But we do know because we got we saw that post from John Mappin. And he made it a point to tell everybody that, no, Charlie didn't conduct any type of business or speak to donors and talk about any important information in front of Blake Neff because he didn't like Blake. And he thought he was weird and he was embarrassed of Blake. He was embarrassed by Blake and he was embarrassed of Blake. And so when he had important things to discuss with his donors, he would take them aside away from Blake Neff. Okay, we know that. John told us that. And John was a good friend of Charlie's. He was a donor and it happened to him, right? He was sitting down with Charlie. Charlie was like getting so embarrassed by all the stupid shit Blake was saying that he literally had to wait for Blakey to go to bed and go talk to John on the side because he didn't want Blake hearing what they were talking about and discussing. And so to me, I just take that as fact, right? John Mappin was a good friend of Charlie's. John Mappin's out here telling us how that happened with Blake. That was one example of them not wanting to discuss things in front of Blake Neff. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure Blake probably didn't know any of Charlie's actual friends or anything about Charlie's actual life or anything like that. Like Candace happened to say, they were co-workers. That's how you knew Charlie. You knew him as a co-worker. That's it. That's it. And for him to just, sit here and I hate it when he sits in there and tries to tell people anything about Charlie because we know what John said. And I believe John. I don't believe Blake Neff. Okay. So, and I find it strange that, here we have Candace revealing a source and it happened to be Andrew stupid ass Kolvet. I just find that funny. Let's see. Has anything else popped off? Oh, look at this. Back to the doxing stuff. Look, Travis posted a new post here. What does this say? The legal department of Experian might want to pay attention. Your current employee, James Howland, who is a senior software engineering manager, went live on a podcast to talk about the woman who he personally doxed and harassed. He posted pictures of her children, contacted her previous employer, posted her work history and full legal name. When it wasn't publicly available, the person he doxed was the Leophile. This information was likely obtained using your databases. What are you going to do about it? And he posts it here. I mean, they're like grown people. And Gary seems to be okay with it, which is terrifying. Like, he's cool with it. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. What are people actually saying about this post? Bro, I have legal counsel and I'm suing Experian. That shit cannot stand. Experian, is this the type of people you hire? Experian, they're tagging Experian for this. I mean, it's something that's actually happening. I did make a post about, or I did make a video about this. I can release it. It was just, we were live streaming and I talked about it, but it was just the part where Lisa Knows was in that part. And I have the video. I did cut it into a video because it was kind of funny, but it was kind of like going off about this whole doxing thing. But I can release a video if you guys are interested to find out how this whole thing started. Let me know in chat if you want me to release that video. But this is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. Wow. Yeah, people aren't very happy about that. And here is the Leophile. Cyber stalking is the repeated use of electronic communications to harass, track, or threaten a person, and it's a crime. 3 grown men have made over 170 posts about me on X over a 3-week period of time. In a single 4-day window, they posted 80 plus times, including pictures of my underage children, defamatory smears, and threats. 80 plus posts in 4 days. On July 25th alone, 36 posts. They threatened me. They incessantly harassed me and stalked me, posting dozens of posts a day targeting me. I'm putting it on the record publicly because silence hasn't worked. Owens Sean is now openly threatening me with more receipts if I don't remove my one post about Zach and his threats against me. Elon Musk, since when do you allow coercion on this platform? Not alarmed yet. I have 3 blocked. They cannot see my posts, yet they keep capturing and reposting them. That means they are actively monitoring me to get around the block. That is the definition of stalking. If you have contacts who can help, please reach out. Yes, I've reported it to authorities. Yes, I'm seeking legal counsel. Elon Musk, cyber stalking is illegal and should not be allowed here. 170 plus posts about one person by 3 men over 3 weeks is not criticism. It is a coordinated campaign. It needs to stop. Yeah. They're going to my account to see my posts and comments, and they're reposting pics within 5 minutes sometimes. That's really bad. That's a really terrible thing to do. Like, this is literally like completely and totally harassing this poor girl. This is crazy. This is crazy. They dox Mel, the village crazy lady, too. Wow. Yeah, they'll probably dox me if I release it, but I already talked about it on a live stream, but I just think it's terrible. I stand with you. Fuck these goons. If we need to fight, let's fight them here. When you need me, they have addresses too. No one threatens children, gets away with it. Yep. They can still see your posts, they just can't interact and do what they're doing. Block means nothing. It should mean your account should not be able to be seen by the blocked person. Yeah, they harass online. And this somebody's like, stop talking to Sean in the DMs would be your first step to not being blackmailed. No, just leave her the fuck alone. Like, the whole point, Gary's totally behind this, guys. Gary's totally 100% cool with this. He's like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to say that you're a journalist and you're going to say things, we deserve to know who exactly you are. Like, if you're going to say something online, everyone deserves to know everything about you. Is basically what he's out here saying, and it's creepy. It's like creepy. Yeah, there is no safety online, especially when you have people like this who, you know, have access to all of your personal records from their job. It's crazy. Geneva, I do be stalking the snarky queen though. But it's like, you know, I just think it's wild that they do this to her, and I don't know what the whole reasoning was. I mean, just because they think that they don't like that her credentials were what they were, and they disagreed with her credentials, which she never said she was like in the CIA or anything. She just said she has ties to intelligence because she worked with consulting firms or something like that. Like, she didn't lie about her anything on her thing. And even if she did, who cares? I mean, who cares if she was lying? People loved her content. They love it anyway. You know? It's crazy though. I just think it's just a shame. Oh, Jeannie says, I know her. Wait. Who? Oh, I'm suspicious of Anna Escobar. Don't get good vibes. I know people are fans. Just be careful. She is not a Philly plant or a bad actor. Keep eyes open. Don't give personal details. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought the information she found about the planes was pretty cool. But the Google searches, where they were searching like Tyler Robinson's information or something in the planes, that was pretty cool. But I did read about those Google searches, and it said like if the results come back with low numbers, like 1 or 2 searches, that it could be a fluke. And so you can't really trust the ones that come back with just like 1 or 2 hits, you know, because somebody actually went and typed in just a whole bunch of random stuff, and it said like, yeah, somebody searched for this once, and it gave a date. And it does say it like in the, I guess if you read up about the Google, what is it called? Google Trends searches or whatever it is, the Google search thing. Yeah. Yes, Trends is unreliable. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, low volume can be noise. Google Ads said that was not reliable. Yeah, that's what I found out about that. So I trust the flight data because obviously that's something that's there, but the Google thing, I was just like, I don't know about that, because if you can get false positives, you can't really believe it. You know what I mean? It could be true, but then again, just as much as it could be true, it could not be true. So it's kind of like one of those things that's up in the air. But yeah, a lot of that stuff is pretty creepy. I think they never expected people to start tracking people's planes. I really didn't think that I think they just thought, you know, that's nothing people would think to look into, right? Nobody's going to look into all the flight logs and all the planes and where they're going. And people were like, no, we're going to look into everything. So they just start digging into it all. And now they're probably shitting themselves. Like, how do we get around this now? You know, because people are watching their every move, and people are just like that, noticing the spy plane over Tennessee, you know, crazy. Yeah, they never expected the public to dissect the case like this. And it's just, to me, it's a shame. Like, if Tyler is not the one who did it, just say you can't solve it and leave it go. Obviously, we're all looking into it. Even if they said they couldn't solve it and they didn't want people to look into it like this, right? That's why they have a patsy, because they want people to think it's an open and shut case. Quit looking over here. It's done. But now, even though they have the patsy, people are like, nope, we're looking into it anyway because we don't believe your patsy. And so now all these people are looking into it, and this is exactly probably what they did not want to happen. And now they're like, what do we do? Well, you definitely don't, you know, kill a 22-year-old boy because you needed a patsy. Because even if he is convicted, people are still going to look into this. It's still going to happen. And as soon as the administration changes again, it's going to be another, eventually someone's going to get in there who wants that reopened. Eventually someone's going to be in a position of authority who wants that case reopened, and it's going to be reopened, and they're going to start looking at things. It might not be in our lifetime, but they will. And you're leaving if you had something to do with that, you're leaving your children with a horrible legacy, because eventually it's going to be found out. Your grandkids, your children, your grandchildren, they're going to be looked at like, hey, your family was a part of this. It's just a shame. It's just such a shame. But yeah, they thought they were going to JFK this generation, and fucked around and found out. They sure did. But that's pretty much all I had to discuss with y'all today. I do have a couple of videos. The one that I have, two videos, they're kind of like I said, like a little bit older information, because I cut them out of live streams that we were doing, but I think they're important. Like that doxing one's kind of creepy. And I basically just went over the stuff that, because Gary had a live stream and they were talking about, the stuff that happened with the Leah files. And I just happened to watch the part where it was Lisa Knows talking, and I was just reacting to that. I didn't even get to the other people that were in that live stream talking about it, because I didn't even get that far. It was so long. But I clicked a part of that. And there's also one that talks about, they posted a cease and desist letter for Candace Owens from that creepy group chat. The leader of the group chat posted a cease and desist letter on X, and it was hilarious, and they got community noted and everything, and it was so funny. And we did talk about that in a live stream, but I made a video out of that too, because I thought that was kind of important to see that's what they're out here doing in this stupid ass group chat. And I might put that one out as well, but I don't know, because they're kind of like, it's kind of like a little bit older news, but I don't think people realize that they posted a cease and desist letter for that. I think it kind of went under the radar, because nobody really talked about that. And I thought it was hilarious. I mean, I just got the biggest kick out of that. I was like, how are they posting a cease and desist on X? And they think people wanted to take that seriously. Yeah. So the military plane doesn't need to be super close, perhaps. Yeah. Yes. I think so too. Yeah. I think so too, Kennedy. I really do. Yep. Oh, thank you, Ulu, for the $4.99 super chat. She said, "That is so boss." But edit, they thought we were going to JFK like 4 generations, and we all came together, and that is boss. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, y'all check out Stu Peters on Kick during the week at 12 noon Eastern. Yeah. Yeah, I like Stu Peters. I don't usually watch him on Kick. I check out his stuff that's later up on X. Charlie Kirk's hit was military. Yeah, it was something more than they're saying, for real. That was so weird. Aw, thank you, cheesy friend. Tell your mom I said thank you so very much. Thank you. Yeah, those, I only see those through email, so that's why I didn't see the ones that you were sending, and I was emailing you later to thank you because I didn't see it. So yes, thank you for telling me that, because I do want to thank you when you immediately send them. I appreciate that. But yes, thank you. Yeah, it was multi-agency. I agree. There's some, like, I think Candace is onto something truly, because they wouldn't be giving her this much shit if she wasn't. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't be. Come on. They would be like, whatever, you weirdo. There's nothing to find. Search all you want. Like, could you imagine if you knew that that was not the case? Wouldn't you be like, dude, whatever, search all you want. Say what you want. There's nothing there to see. Like, get on out of here, you know? So that's why I think she's onto something, because they just won't let it go. They just won't. But yes, thank you guys all for coming through to hang out. I appreciate you all so very, very much. I have to pay to have friends. No, you don't. Shut up. No, you don't. I appreciate the donation so very much, though. Thank you, Cheesy. I appreciate that. But yes, thank you guys all for coming by to hang out. I'll probably go live another day. Maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do one this weekend, but definitely I will be back Monday. I promise. Even though, I just needed a break this week because it was just too much nonsense. But I appreciate you all so very much. I love you so very much. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys on the next one.
Let's wrap on this night. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a final word before you go. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you got a laugh, it was all worth it. If you didn't like it, I don't give a shit. Don't be a monster, hit the like. Help me out, smash subscribe. Turn on notifications, don't miss the show. Hit the like before you go. Don't be a monster, hit the like. Help me out, smash subscribe. Turn on notifications, don't miss the show. Hit the like before you go.